Well, you won't get a lemon from Toyota of Orange.
Wrestling buddies want to be your buddy.
Drug-free's the way to be.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, Miss Musso, we were just doing a promo.
Welcome to Home Wrestling League.
I am Penny Dreadful, joined by Drew No Gimmicks Needed Radley and Crystal the Casual at the Unicorn Soundboard, and this is Home Wrestling League. And it was only a matter of time before Trips put on a shitty pay-per-view. They always happen. At least it was this one and not Summer. You can't win them all. I can't win them all. At least it was this one and not SummerSlam. Because SummerSlam has to, be good. God. We'll get into it, but God, I hated it. I hated it so much. There were like one or two bright spots, but overall, I was not pleased. Just like I was not pleased by that Road to WrestleMania doc. Why did we wait 4 months? How long did we wait for this?
So it was supposed to come out that Wednesday. They just delayed it. Yeah, it was 3 months because what happened was Mr. The Rock decided to take over the documentary to make himself not look like the bad guy.
Nothing else important or interesting was said that we didn't get in the trailer. Was it just me?
No,
we got nothing new.
No, we didn't get anything like
anything of substance.
The only thing we really got was The Rock essentially telling Cody is just like, you can have the belt as long as you want, as long as you say that changing of WrestleMania was completely your fault and no one else's.
You can have this as long as you want, as long as you back me up on everything.
Yes, and I guarantee that's what happened because I know they sprung it on Cody that Monday, not Rumble. They sprung it on him that Monday. I guarantee, with
the Monday before Rumble or right after?
The Monday right after Rumble. After the Punk thing happened, and Punk, because Punk gets hurt first. He wins the Rumble. He points at Roman and then he comes to Raw that Monday, and then he's just like, hey, new plans. And then Cody is just like, what? And then he has that promo with Seth where it's just like, hey, think about it. And it's just like, that doesn't
fight me. Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. And then this is how I ultimately know that this WrestleMania documentary was completely taken over by The Rock, because they're having Damian Priest 24/7 documentary.
Yeah, what?
Completely. I guarantee you're going to see a bunch of footage that you have never seen because that documentary was supposed to be about the backgrounds of WrestleMania and shit. And Damian Priest completely got cut out. Like Seth literally has 2 or 3 minutes.
Right? Which was in the trailer.
Yes.
The only fun thing was kind of seeing them talk about it out of kayfabe, but other than that, there was nothing there. And fun watching it again. From the way that they shoot it and build it like an NFL film. That's cute.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing else there, and I'm like, why did you want to show it to us? Number one, and why did you take so long to show it to us? I don't understand what the function of. A lot of people saying it's a work. Everything they do is a work. That's fine. But what is the function of us having seen it?
I don't even know.
I'm like, okay, what do I do with this?
I think it's more to make Dwayne not look like the bad guy. It's an hour long.
He is. That's what he wants to be right now.
But he doesn't want to be the wrestling bad guy. He could be a heel in the ring, but not in real life. Even though he's pretty much the reason why the DCEU failed.
The interesting thing is that, number one, if Vince had still been at the helm, you would have absolutely gotten it the way that they wanted it with Rock and Roman, and then Cody and Seth. I still would have enjoyed that, honestly, because Rock and Roman, that's great. That's, a fun thing to do. And Cody Seth is something that would have also been fun. That's a great thing to run back. And I think later on they'll still do it. I think if we had gotten that, it would have still been just fine. But it wouldn't have been what we actually got, which was better. Ultimately. It's kind of like, let's say you're a kid, and for weeks and weeks and weeks, your parents are saying, we're taking you to Disneyland. We're going to go to Disneyland. Disneyland. And they're talking about getting to Disneyland. You get in the car, and you're on the way down to Anaheim. And they're like, actually, you know what? Hold on. We're going to Legoland. Isn't that great too? And you're like, I guess so. Sure. That's fun also. But you've been talking about Disneyland for all this time. That's what it felt like to me. Like those things are fun too. But you've been really selling me this for a long time. Hey, why are we taking this turn off of the freeway? You know what I mean?
Hey, I know you guys like being on the 5 freeway. So we're going to continue to be on the 5 freeway and go to Carlsbad. Yay!
Like, let's stay on this freeway for another 2 hours to go somewhere we weren't planning to go. Isn't that great? I guess.
I remember that one time you watched that Lego movie. Well, here's Carlsbad, California. Maybe we can go pick up some fish tacos. Yay!
Like a major readjusting of expectations.
Exactly. In the car at that. Like, adjust your expectation right now. And, and they're like, no. And I keep coming back to this, but I can't believe that The Rock keeps talking about the fans wanted it. The fans wanted it. We went back to what the fans wanted. Sir, all due respect. I'm not even going to say that. No respect. It's what they've been building to for the better part of 2 years.
Like reason
we were only wanted it because you said we were supposed to have it.
The reason why Cody even was a part of that main event in WrestleMania 39 is because The Rock didn't come back in time. They were setting up the thing. So what ended up happening is Cody has one of the best comeback years in the history of wrestling. And like normally, because we're so preconditioned that what Vince wanted, we wouldn't, that year that Cody had, we never would have. That's why everybody coming out of SoFi was just like, what the fuck? Because we're so conditioned for Vince McMahon to not follow through with the storyline. So
yeah.
Roman and him have that stare down in that SmackDown episode, and you're just like, oh shit, they're really leading on to this.
They are.
And then you just come in, it's just out of touch, and then Brian Gewirtz is just like, well, Cody didn't really have a great boo-boo face. I'm like, yeah, I wonder why. I mean, speaking of boo-boo faces, we'll talk about the Money in the Bank, because that there's some all-timers in there.
Many contractually obligated boo-boo faces.
God. Like, if you're gonna do these documentaries, do them for a reason. Give it something new. It just felt like Rock talking himself up.
Yeah, they had a 20-minute version of that, and then The Rock was just like, no.
A mess. Just a mess. I could have done something else with that hour. Entertaining, sure. It felt like watching the least affecting part of Raw. Whatever hour, because usually at least 1 hour in either of the shows where you're like, I could have missed this. That's what it felt like. Exactly like that. But we'll move on into Dynamite. And hey, here is a week. Okay, I'm gonna say this, put this out there. Here's a week where overall AEW put on a better show than WWE in the middle of the week. At least I feel that way.
I mean, according to some of what I'm seeing about this heat wave, people are like, "Oh yeah, no, this is the best show of the week."
Heat wave?
Oh yeah, it's going on right now as we're recording.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Oh, that's so interesting. And also the thing I kept hearing was like, man, if you are gonna have NXT and main roster in the same weekend, flip them. Why wouldn't it be Money in the Bank on Sunday, NXT on Saturday, the way things normally are in terms of how they do it? And look at that. Isn't that interesting? Heat wave ends up being the better show. Fascinating. But anyway, it looks like maybe not if it looks like. this might be a flash in the pan, but they might have figured out how to follow up a pay-per-view with this Dynamite. Overall, it was a great episode, maybe the best of their year so far, overruns and all. I am not surprised that Danielson won. What was a great match between him and Pac. I'm not surprised because of, probably the way that they're going to take him into this latter part of his career and the latter part of the year with him. Mm-hmm. But I am surprised to find that ultimately I wanted Pac to win. I want Danielson to get a shot at the title later on and even carry it before he goes, but I really wanted this for Pac, it turns out. I wanted him to get it. I was surprised to find that in myself.
Because we'll talk about who won the other match, but it's just leading to I just never felt that Pac was gonna go that far. It was
I know I could feel that. Yeah. Yet I really want it for him. I really want him to have a good strong showing at Wembley. And a good strong showing somewhere. Come on. Stat versus Willow is turning out to be such a great rivalry. I really expected Stat to win this one to sort of, take it from Willow's spot from last year. That's what I expected. So I was actually surprised to find that Willow won. Stat losing, I think, means that she's definitely got to fuck it up for Willow.
Yeah, somehow, some way, but
somehow, some way. That's not over by a long shot.
Yeah. Sometimes I think because with Mariah May, she has to be if they're doing All About Eve, it just. I mean, that could work where it's just oh, I didn't see the cheating. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. If she played it like that, then it works. But either way, we're gonna have a humdinger.
Yes, a humdinger. Britt's return. Of course, we didn't know everything that had gone on with her physically. It was really surprising to hear, what had happened to her, with her having a mini stroke. Her promo actually got me, man. It got me right in the feels. Her being, she basically spilled her heart out.
It's that weird thing where she's trying to be earnest and a little bit of her wants to be a heel. So when, Mercedes comes out, and that was brilliant. I love that where in the middle of her promo, you cut to the back.
They just start setting up and putting the stuff around her. She's looking down.
And the Young Bucks are just there. It's oh, so great to see you. So great to see you. Yeah, get everything ready. And is this person hey, I had a stroke and shit, and da da da.
Yeah.
And they're getting the stuff ready. And we knew this before going in that Britt Baker is better at her at talking. But Mercedes is just better. It does in that sort of match where somebody's really good at talking, but somebody's the more superior wrestler. It doesn't matter what you say on the mic. It's all about how you deliver. And I know Britt Baker talked shit about the PC,
the Performance Center.
Oh yeah, a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's something you could have used, honey. No shade.
Britt Baker said, I don't think putting a bunch of models and athletes off the street in a warehouse and teaching them how to do all the same things the same ways at the same time is going to create a successful roster. What Britt Baker said about the PC.
But they're doing it.
But yeah, they're doing it fucking better.
It's not like you guys have that any sort of system over in AEW. The systems work.
Yeah,
they do well.
I mean, you can only train with the Nightmare Family so much before.
I don't even remember how many of them are still there.
I mean, I don't think that many.
Right.
But I say all that to say, Mercedes is going to wrestle rings around you. It doesn't matter what you say in this. It's all about what happens. And the whole her saying the same line Mercedes said about the get in line, what line, bitch?
Yeah,
that type of thing. And pie facing it. And it's just that weird thing where you're man, I hope Mercedes could get the best match out of Britt Baker. Because I think Britt Baker's best match is with Thunder Rosa. And Britt Baker, if you put a mic in front of her, she'll find a way to shit on Thunder Rosa for no reason. So so I hope Mercedes gets the best match out of her possible.
I think she will. Yeah.
And now that belt is more elevated than the other belt. Like, this is a great time for AEW women because
Isn't it just? Yes.
for a long time it just did not click. And then now it's cooking with gas because you have Willow, who's one of the biggest, best baby faces in wrestling. You have their story. You have multiple storylines that are going on in the women's division, and some of them don't even take place on the B show. Like, some of them are on the A show, and you see them literally every week.
Yep. You have stories around both titles, which are interesting, and stories outside of those titles on all the shows.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Yes, perfectly. I think this really established Britt as the homegrown baby face. Because I'll give it to her. She's a homegrown kid. You know, the first one there, all that kind of stuff. I'll give it to her. And Mercedes as the heel, where she really, truly belongs. Moving on to the next Owen Hart tournament one there. Wild card was, of course, a returning Hangman Adam Page. New theme music. Fully in his heel. He's still got the beard. So you know that you're, a bad guy when you got a beard. Doing his best Batman. Like, I'm Hangman. Is really down in that register. I just know that everyone, because I popped for it. I really popped for Double J putting him in that sharpshooter. The idea of maybe tapping out Hangman in this match with a sharpshooter was just too much emotionally. It was too much emotionally for me. It was so good.
Oh, that was really cool.
I know that objectively the correct thing to do is for the old guard to put over the new guard, especially in this case of building Hangman as a heel. And the inevitability of putting Hangman in front of Swerve again, because they sure said they would scream at that white boy. Whose house? Swerve's house. And he made his face. Oh, God. And even after he beat Double J, he still kept going back at it. Like, my goodness. This is fun. However, if you can put a title on Jericho, why can't you give this to Double J? Maybe, just one win.
Yeah. I don't think they had the plan of him cutting that incredible promo
right after.
No, him cutting that incredible promo.
Oh,
because they had the plan like, well, we're gonna bring in Hangman, and then Jeff Jarrett cuts that fucking incredible promo, and they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it. Like, we were just gonna steamroll you, but now we have to pretend that you have a shot.
Now we have to pretend that you have a shot. And maybe if it weren't for bringing back Hangman and inserting him into these stories, maybe he could have gone on. I don't know. But of course, that was another thing. Same as with the Danielson thing and the Pop thing. I know it makes sense to put Danielson in this space, and it makes the same thing to put Hangman in that space. I get it, but I did still want emotionally for Double J to win, and I can't have been the only one. Yeah. Always. Ospreay and Garcia, that was a good match. But either one of those guys, especially Ospreay, incapable of putting on a bad match. So of course it was going to be, entertaining. But Garcia openly boo-hooing in the corner was a lot. It was a little bit much. I can take some upsetness afterward, but he's really like snot and everything. Putting Ospreay in front of him, consoling him in the same manner Swerve had just done. Well done, cute. The whole thing was just to bring back MJF as a heel, not even as a tweener, no face, nothing like that. Heel where he belongs. And damn if it didn't carry on. It went on because I was watching this and it was coming up on 7:00, and I was like, okay, he's gonna hit him. He's gonna do whatever. Hits him in the balls. I figured that's gonna be the end of the show, and that's enough for MJF to just hit someone in the balls and then turn heel. It kept going. He opened him up with that ring, and there was a point where he was just banging on him, and then he held up his head like this. This is what you see, and Garcia's head's all wobbly like this, and he's just still with this nod, and it was a lot of color, and it was a lot of stuff. It was 15 minutes of almost before they finally went off, and it took actually a while for Ospreay to come out. I feel like they were back there in Gorilla watching this and being like, wait, now go. You know what I mean? To really kind of drag it out. They really went for it with that shit.
Daniel Garcia deserves a moment. I feel like he got screwed with the Jericho thing because he's too talented. Like his career would have went better if they would have replaced him with Wheeler Yuta and BCC.
Yeah, he would have been cool. That's wow, I haven't thought of that.
Because like he would have Wheeler Yuta
would have really taken him to another level.
You know, like he's okay. Like he's not. It's Wheeler Yuta. Like XD basically is just like he looks like he works for Google.
Yes,
like, yeah, no,
that's true. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. No, he's right.
Yeah.
So
maybe he's in the Genius Bar. I can definitely see him in the Genius Bar. No question. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? This is good for him because now he's going to be in this program, hopefully going forward, unless the program is meant for MJF and Ospreay at Wembley. I don't know which direction it's going to go in because I didn't watch Collision. I noticed right after that they were like, make sure you see MJF open that Collision. Of course, I forgot about it because I was over here getting mad at Money in the Bank. But
I think they should just anytime there's a WWE event, have Collision on Fridays.
Yeah, find a way to because it's gonna be low. You know it's gonna like find a way to move it around, and yet like you kind of can't do that because then you're like kind of backing down, which I get. I understand. People really seem to enjoy MJF getting in like in fans' faces. I got to be that person. They were plants. They weren't random. I was like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I just do like the story of MJF. Just, like, you know what? I beat up too many Mexican wrestlers. Now let's move on to Daniel Garcia.
All right. Do you want to go home raw? What was the point of having the Wyatt Six appear and mess around with Chad? You know what? I feel like there was so much that they established in Raw that they could have included in Money in the Bank, and they did not at all.
I think the funniest thing about this whole storyline is the fact that we're supposed to buy that Olympic wrestler Chad Gable can't get over spooky shit. Like, it's one of those things I'm like, Chad Gable could literally kill all of those guys in the Wyatt Six, like if they didn't have spooky shit. And we're supposed to buy that this Olympic level athlete is just like, and I'm like, he would murder all of those guys in an actual fight.
Well, I guess he could. Could he take Dexter Lumis?
All of them, easy. It wouldn't even be a challenge.
Wouldn't even break a sweat.
Like Eddie Guerrero tried to fight Kurt Angle, and everybody in the back was just like, "Why would you do that?" And Eddie Guerrero's like, "I'm just stupid. I'm sorry."
You know what? I do still wish that Liv and Zelina would have been on Money in the Bank. I feel like it was fine there, and it was entertaining and did everything it needed to do storyline wise. I do still wish it would have been on Money in the Bank.
Yeah, because they've mastered like the 5-match wrestling shows because that's Triple H feels like that gives it enough time to let everything hit.
Yeah.
I feel like what ends up happening is sometimes if all the belts aren't defended, you forget about them.
Exactly.
And so because the SmackDown title hasn't been on a pay-per-view since WrestleMania or the Raw ones. Like it feels like they're strictly
Bayley's title?
The tag team, both.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, they haven't been on in a while.
Yeah.
So
they were both dropped, and we have new champions, and Judgment Day, that was funny. And in DIY, that was great.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Oh yeah. Like those guys have worked a long time to get there, and they're the most competent choice for tag team. Like,
yes, yeah.
So now it opens up more matches that you can do because both Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are singles wrestlers.
Yeah. They were never super strong as a duo. Like I always felt that they were, not super that they were just together for convenience sake and not because they're really backing each other. And I always felt that even before they won those the titles. So I was surprised when they won those titles in the first place.
Yeah. It's like
Pretty Deadly's back. I was like, oh, Drew's happy. Pretty Deadly's back on TV.
The tears that I shed when I saw them on screen.
A tear.
I was just like, oh, is this real?
Right. Yes.
I
heard the music and I was like,
yes, I was like Freddie Mercury in the 70s. Like, is this real or is this just fantasy?
Hi. Those are really fun segments, I thought, with the women's and the Money in the Bank participants. I liked the segments more than the actual show. Okay. I did actually like that that tag team match ended in submissions. You don't see that a lot. It's usually pinfalls, especially with tags. So that was great. I would like to see more of that. That was fun. But in the run up to it, because they finished it at like 6:55, I was like, what kind of shit are you gonna give us now? And they give us that solo video package talking mad shit, big shit. Roman's not enough, man.
They've set up Solo like not fucking with Roman for a while.
They have.
Because that Money in the Bank match when Roman is trying to pin the Usos, and Solo's looking at him like, the fuck is wrong with you? Can't win this match. Fuck.
I can't. It's not believable.
Founded as York by the British in the late 1700s, Toronto is now a proudly Canadian city, and nearly 6 million people call the Greater Toronto Area home. The megacity attracts people from all over the world.
You want to get into the show?
Yes, let's get in the show.
All right, so you send me the text saying what the men's Money in the Bank is opening it, and that Cody and them are closing. So Roman's coming back. I was like, okay, I don't know, but you told me, all right, yep, it's opening the show. That means Drew's gonna try to cash in. He's gonna win. I was like, motherfucker, and I held out hope. I really did hold out hope because I hated other Drew qualifying in the first place, and I was surprised that it happened because
slapdash. It happened way too fast.
Was very quick. I definitely understand him. Like storyline wise, saying I deserve to get in there. I'm trying to get the title. Yeah, I get that. That all fits. And it does fit that Punk would try to mess it up for him at some point. Anywhere he's going to try to go, he's going to try to mess it up for him. I expected it would be in his qualifying match. So I was very surprised that it did not happen there.
Well, because he whooped his ass, so like he couldn't come back that quickly.
It's true. Yes, that's true. And it's true. Yes, storyline wise, but I still hate it. I hate it. So he qualifies. I figure it's during the match that Punk interferes to keep him from getting the briefcase so that someone else can get it. Because this feud doesn't need the title. Does not need the title. That briefcase should be used on someone in general. It should be used on someone who has not held the title before. Or, someone who's coming in or trying to get something. It should always be on someone who's brand new to the title scene, to inject some uncertainty into the title picture.
As soon as I found that out, I'm like, fuck, he's winning. And I'm like, well, let me check the boo-boo faces. And then Jey Uso just like, I'm like, oh man. Because whenever somebody makes it a personal point that their first promo is like, I'm gonna go and do this, they're the most important person in the match. Jey Uso from jump was the first person to be like, I need to win this match, and I'm declaring myself Money in the Bank. I guarantee he was supposed to win Money in the Bank, and then they heard the reaction in Scotland, and they're like, "Fuck, let's change course." Like the match is okay. Like the real standout is Chad Gable. It's like
right.
the man.
He suplexed a ladder onto someone.
He suplexed a ladder, and then he took like a 15-20 foot drop on his face.
What?
Like,
yes. Oh, God.
And the Wyatts are just sitting back there, just like, all right. Like there should have been more shenanigans in that.
There should.
And
more shenanigans.
More
shenanigans.
Yep.
Obviously, Andrade, like a lot of those guys came out with some boo-boo faces.
They did. You know, it's interesting that the two guys who were least likely to get it, Andrade and Carmelo, had some of the best spots of the evening. Really standout shit. Ooh, my God. Either one would have been fine on their own. Together in that match, ooh, shit. It was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I do hope it means that leads to a story for the two of them on SmackDown.
No, it doesn't.
God. Why? Do something with that motherfucker.
Like, I think what's happening is there's a log jam because that mid-card title is with Logan Paul. And now there's just a log jam of these guys trying to, like, because Carmelo, LA Knight, Andrade are all on that same show.
Yeah.
And they're stuck there. And then I think they're going to have Jey Uso go and fight Braun Steiner. And
at what point? When?
I think.
Next. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jey Uso's lost like he's the guy called Main Event Jey Uso, and he loses every time he's in the main event. It's hilarious. Like,
you could have changed that with the fucking briefcase.
Honestly, like, it would have helped him more. It would have made things more intriguing.
Merch possibilities. It was like they looked at our possibilities and said, "Okay, here's what we can do with merch. We really got to brand these. Let's do this one and not the other one. What the fuck? You had 5 other guys. One of them, the most over babyface on his show, would have been the most over babyface in the company were it not for Cody, that you could have given it to. Like, of course we know. SummerSlam's coming, Gunther's getting that title. He's gonna fucking chop Damon in half, no question. Fine. But it does make it more interesting if you have a Money in the Bank holder, you know, hanging in the wings, you know, waiting for their moment. But now you don't. What do you do with the rest of these? Now, what do you do with them?
Like, Money in the Bank is interesting because it's such a waiting in the wings ass shit. Because, like, at any time, some shit could go down and you get fucked over.
Yes.
Obviously, Drew wins the match.
As much as I hated him being in it at all, I'll admit that he brought some very chaotic and dominant energy to it. There was one point where he just picked up and tossed Chet onto a ladder like he was a doll.
Like, I know Triple H doesn't like 8 people ladder matches, but sometimes you need 8 people. Like, 8 people makes that go. Like, I think that match is always better with 8 people instead of 6. And
who else would you have put in?
Well, I mean, they don't have Ricochet anymore, but like, I thoroughly believe they just needed another person.
Another person to not give a chance to.
That would have gave 2 people storylines, extra storylines. Like, oh shit, but they just did it so quick from the last pay-per-view. I think that's kind of why they're like, all right, let's do 6 people. Because I thought Ilya Dragunov was going to be in it.
Me too, yeah.
And I guarantee they gave Ilya Dragunov spot to Drew. I guarantee that's what happened. This is just all ramifications for them making all those Scottish people pay $900 for nosebleeds.
But it made them even more pissed off because look how it ended up going. Sammy and Braun. This is actually my match of the evening, or the match I hated the least. the only one I didn't like. They actually had some great spots together. Braun cut Sammy in his moonsault and almost put him into the post, but then Sammy pushed him first. Sammy leapfrogging over that Braun doing the Steiner cam. A lot of good stuff. I think this is actually a really good showing for both of them because somehow the champion is the underdog there because a lot of people thought Braun was going to pick this up, winning against the monster challenger. How long until Braun starts using the Steiner name? You know what? Here's a question because I don't know. How long after Charlotte Flair's call up to the main roster did she start using the Flair name?
She was called up as Charlotte Flair.
As Charlotte Flair? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Was she still Charlotte when she had the Divas title?
Yeah, it was still Charlotte Flair. And then Vince McMahon had that really weird time in like 2018 where it's just like one name. So
mononyms, yeah.
So you're not Andrade Cien Almost, you're Andrade.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not Austin Theory because if people type in Austin Theory, they're gonna find some unsavory shit. So you're
Theory. Yes, that was weird.
Riddle.
Weird shit. Do you think he'll start using the Steiner name? I think he will. Ultimately.
I mean, like he's been
Without
on
like
the,
Breaker, kind of annoying, especially with 2Ks. Confuses me.
yeah. I think
Especially because he's using the Steiner. What do they call it? That move he does. I forget what it's called. It's a Steiner something with it.
The Frankensteiner.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Because in NXT he used the Steiner recliner as this finisher.
Yeah.
And is what his uncle did. Like,
exactly.
It's
so
hilarious.
They keep talking up his family and his lineage. Go ahead and use the name already. Like
it's so funny because they're like, he's a Steiner, and he's not his dad Steiner.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole premise.
Yeah.
Like he's just not his dad. It's just like everything that's cool about me is my uncle base. It's not my father.
Isn't that interesting?
It's like my father is kind of a weirdo and he doesn't like trans people, and he got knocked out by Norman Smiley in a hotel room back in WCW. But my uncle's cool as shit.
I kept forgetting that Trish Stratus was supposed to be hosting because the only time she appeared was to introduce Cena. And of course, I guess that's why we didn't get another match on there. Because you got to give a good 20 to Cena. And as soon as he comes out, holds up the thing saying the last time is now, you know what he's about to say. You know, who wants to get put over before I go?
Hey, everybody. This Hollywood money is awesome. So
I work less hard. I make a lot more, and I'm old. It's time to go.
Like,
I guess I like, you know what? I guess I like seeing the end of it because I didn't get to see the beginning of it. What do you think about Cena going off into the sunset?
I mean, like, the man's kind of been retired since like 2018.
Hello.
Like
he's been like a comedy star for
years
now. Because like for me, like I obviously know he was a wrestler, but like in my brain now, I'm like, oh, you mean Peacemaker?
Peacemaker.
Yes, exactly.
Peacemaker and that neurotic dad and Blockers. Like that's what I associate with now. Like it's not wrestling at all. And I get that, you know, because I'm the casual, so I never really saw him that much. And it's just always been weird that like my brain is like, oh, that's right. That's where he comes from. Oh, that
At the press conference, they said that he said they gave him the weekend off when he was, you know, filming season 2. He's like, so I came here to do this. Okay. Like, all right, buddy.
My favorite part about that press conference is the first question. So what do you think about Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant?
Right?
And he's just like,
they
what
will not get off their neck. I love it.
What? Like, no, I understand journalistic integrity, but if you're just going to ask a troll question, you're not going to get called anymore. What was the point of that?
Yes.
Because they stopped with that investigation because the feds are like, oh, we have more shit on Vince McMahon. That's why they're not talking about that. So what was the point of that? That was a dumb question.
I thought it was kind of ballsy to ask, though.
It was ballsy as fuck, but it was dumb.
Do you think he gets to actually win another match before he goes there? Probably. Maybe one.
No,
I don't know.
He'll win matches. He just won't wrestle people that you expect. Like people will be like, oh man, I want him to wrestle Mello. I want him to wrestle all the young kids. And then they're gonna be disappointed when he fucking wrestles Alexis King and Austin Theory again, and then Solo Sikoa. Like you're gonna be greatly disappointed by who he's gonna wrestle. I do enjoy the fact that everything is just so sponsored because it was just like Wheatley's American Vodka, even though this takes place in Canada. And Prime present Money in the Bank.
Right.
The Money in the Bank contest is brought to you by the boys. And then on the briefcase, it says VOT, the company in the boys. Like, it's an actual thing.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah. Like, I understand they're making fun of Disney. Like, I get they're making fun of corporations because the boys is very...
Yeah.
It's satire.
Or maybe all the Homelander jokes. Maybe they just call up Amazon. You were like, yo, you want to connect with this? Make, you know, every jacket that Cody is going to have is going to be crazier and crazier and crazier. It's just, you know, just do a thing.
Like Homelander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
he
give
comes
us
out
money.
like Homelander all the time. And then he did the advertisement for the boys, which was cool the other day. And yeah, it's just, it's like, it's not WrestleMania bad. But like the next pay-per-view we're about to see, it's gonna get worse. Like it's because they only do it for the exactly. It's one of the big 5 shows, because this was one of the big 5 shows. Because like it used to be big 4, but now it's big 5.
Because the briefcases are supposed to have a function in the overall storytelling and in title pictures, but that's only if you do something with it. You want to move into Seth and Damian, the hot mess of the evening. That this would have been an instance where Seth could put Damian over fairly clean, and it's what I was expecting until it became apparent that Drew was getting that briefcase.
The whole match is predicated on the fact that
looking over their shoulder,
yeah, they're looking over their shoulder multiple times. It really takes away from the match. Because honestly, if you have a face being the Money in the Bank winner, you don't have to worry unless the match is over.
Yes.
That is when you have to worry.
Yes.
And now that you bring that up, like that element in there, it kind of takes away from the match. And I'm pretty sure very early on, Priest gets his bell rung, because when he was supposed to kick out of that one move, he didn't, and the referee had to stop the count. And then that's when the shenanigans happened with Drew.
Right? Yes. During the press conference, Tripp said he didn't want Damian to be remembered for not kicking out where he was supposed to. And that might be true, but he might have only been remembered for it if it were the only thing about that. If it was the only thing that didn't have the effect it was supposed to. And instead, it might just be one of the things in a chaotic, fucked up mess.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's just...
He's not going to remember for it that much. Just one of the things. Like, number 3 of the things of that match that were fucked up.
And that's what makes it so fucking frustrating, because it's just like, you had a shot to do something great, and like the match should have meant more, but I think the Liv Morgan thing and then the Finn Balor thing are more pertinent in Damian Priest's story than Seth Rollins coming back. Like Seth is just an afterthought. Like when the shenanigans happen, I literally forgot Seth Rollins was a part of the match. Like that's how forgettable he is right now.
Yes.
Like he's so forgettable now that even in that Rock documentary, he only gets like 5 minutes worth of stuff. Like he's just getting forgotten because he's so great as a wrestler that it's just like,
I figured that Damian would win because this is all before the Money in the Bank crap. Because it would have been a very good instance to elevate Damian, because he's already had that other match with Drew where he was elevated. He elevated himself by an accident, with that rope botch. But it would have been another instance for Seth to put someone over in the same way that he put over Cody when he came back, because Seth is at that point already in his career where he's established enough. He is a former champion. He's had he's cashing in Money in the Bank. He's won the Rumble. He is the guy already who you can put in front of someone and he can lose to them. He can still look good. He can still maintain where he is and elevate the person in front of him. And that's what I thought the plan was. And it would have made Damian look even better going into, the wall, the Austrian wall of Gunther. But now it just sort of, and it still kind of makes Damian a paper champ. It doesn't look good for him. It doesn't make him look strong on his own because all of these other, things that are coming in. So of course, after, that fucking botched, not call, Drew walks in with the thing, and it's just becomes a triple threat, and it just went completely off the rails at that point. I forgot who was there doing what, and at some point, Seth rolls out of the ring, and you're right. I forgot that he was actually part of the fucking match.
Yeah,
a failed cash-in on the same evening with someone who didn't need to have it in the first place for that story. And now, Damian's going to drop to Gunther, which is fine. It'll be great. And then now you'll have to set up something for him to, you know, after he wins that title, you'll have to make up some other shit to put people in front of him. And if you had someone with the money in the with the briefcase, you wouldn't have had to. You would have had a ready-made challenger in whoever had the briefcase.
It really highlights the fact that I guarantee Jey Uso found out a week before that he was losing, because like it was all set up for him. Everything was set up for him, and then once they put Drew in the match, it was just like, yeah, so we're gonna do this Punk thing. And I think so. Cody will get a long run again, and then there's no threat to Gunther invading Poland. So like there's no threat. So it kind of just, you really shot your wad, and it's just really bad. It was not the best decision, because Drew's about to win the match,
and then not even well executed.
Yeah, Drew's about to win that match, and then you see the crowd look, and I'm like, yep, he's there. And then
the noise,
that surly Chicago man comes in, beats the shit out of him, wop, 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 Punk, fuck him up, wop, 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 I'm gonna do my stuff, and then just beats the shit out of him.
Like a bitch. Ain't you tired?
Well, hopefully, I don't think Drew McIntyre does anything with minors, so we're good.
He should be tired, though. He should be tired of doing all this shit.
But at the same time, I can't stress this enough. Everything that's happened to him is deserved.
Yes, it's deserved.
Everything he has done, he has deserved it.
It's true. The story has been really good. I didn't need the briefcase.
Like, at a certain point, sorry to make this sound like this, but Drew McIntyre's gonna have to kill Phil. Like it's like he's gonna have to shoot him. It's like the Drake Kendrick thing, where it's just like you're gonna have to shoot this guy. You're gonna have to like legitimately murder them. Not like, hey, I beat him up and then I push fucking Nick Aldis within an inch of his life. No. Gun, head, boom. Like that's the only way this is gonna.
Yeah.
All because you said,
I prayed for this and it happened.
That happened in January. This has gone on since July.
Taking a turn at Albuquerque. Really weird.
Yeah. It's the most interesting thing. Besides Dominic trying to not fuck a woman, it's the most interesting thing that's going on in the WWE right now.
My God, but what a horrible waste.
Yeah,
a horrible waste of a briefcase.
This is a could have pay-per-view PLE, because what could have happened would have always been better. You could have had the Wyatt Six. You could have had Rhea come back. You could have Liv Morgan. Like, Liv Morgan is more important to the story than CM Punk is to the story. Like, you could have had that. You could have done other things. Like
could have had Balor interfere in some way, because they gave that face backstage before Damian came out. Could have done a lot.
And then I realized midway in the pay-per-view, that's when not midway, but like they say early in the pay-per-view that Sika, Roman Reigns' dad, was buried today. So that's how I'm like, oh, okay, Roman is not going to show up.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm like, if that was the case, why was that the last match? You could have had the men's Money in the Bank be the last match, and then Jey Uso pointing at the sky, begging his uncle, would have been the last thing you see. You chose not to do it. You could have had that, but you chose not to. This is the first true mess of the Triple H era.
Yes. Yep. But we'll move into women's Money in the Bank, which is, the one that we all guessed right. And that was the one that actually did when it was supposed to go. Typically times we knew, but man, did Chelsea come close? Oh God. I do feel like watching this match though, because we've known what the outcome is going to be for so long, that it was kind of like just watching for the spots that would take them out one by one.
Yeah, so that match is a fucking mess. And then it's not until midway in when they stop botching moves is when it becomes awesome.
Yes.
Like, this is another match that could have had extra hands in it and it would have been great.
Yeah.
One of the things about WWE ladder matches is there's seldom a story, though. Story is, I need to get what's up there.
Yes, yeah.
Chelsea Green being afraid of heights is incredible.
Isn't it just?
She stole the show with that.
Yes.
The way she was trying to use the ladder to get the thing instead of going up the ladder.
She was trying to jump to get it. And I'm like, this fucking woman is incredible.
Yeah.
Like everybody was behind her.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a video game thing where you're like, let me use whatever I have in this room to get what I need. To get what I need.
Yeah.
It's like, figure it out.
That last moment, I was like, ooh, is she gonna get it for real? Because that would have been the surprise for sure.
But it's always a thing of when you set up the table, you're going through that motherfucker.
Yes.
And her and Tiffy were setting up the table.
Yeah.
I did.
Man, she fell far through that, and she
did.
I mean, falling through tables like must hurt, but when she takes a spot like that, she really sells it. Like doing this. Oh,
that was some ragdoll.
Great. Yes.
Ragdolling right there.
Yes.
Like in
she
the old
great
games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was a mess.
Yeah.
Again,
and Io was great. Crazy as normal. She's fucking crazy. Woo.
It's just so funny hearing them come out and then hearing Io come out, and she has literally the best theme of them all.
Yes.
I'm like, she has the best theme in the WWE that is not a bot song.
A bot song?
Yeah, like bought
and paid for?
Bought and paid
robot?
for, like Cult of Personality, Kingdom.
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Did they make it? Is it the only one that they've made that isn't terrible?
Yeah, like the Def Rebel Music Company, who like that is literally the one thing right now that AEW has on.
Yeah. It's the music.
WWE is the music. Like they do not make good songs.
They gotta hire somebody.
Like Tiffy's new song, I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Damn, I never recognized that.
Like she's had 3 different themes since she's gone to the main roster. And they've never.
Okay, I'm not crazy. Thank you. I was like, I don't know that it's gonna be her until they say her name and she comes out.
Well, and I'm like, so you didn't get it right the first 2 times, and you think this is good? Like, bring Jim Johnston back.
Where did he go?
Vince was just like, you're too old, and then fired him, even though Jim Johnston's probably 10, 15 years younger than
Of course.
Vince.
Yes. I could be the only old one here.
It's a big pay-per-view, so they had to do media, and one of the guys asked her about doing that dumbass story, and she's just like, I didn't really hear what she said. I'm like, you fucking heard what she said in the goddamn. She's like, black bitch, and you thought you could have got away with that, but your people are like, you better take that the fuck down. And she took it down. But it's just one of those things where you're just like, I love the fact that she's a real life idiot too. Because it's just like, oh, that's right. You are not. You actually are a shoot idiot. So it doesn't really hamper my opinion on her. I think she's talented as fuck. She's just dumb.
Yeah. And it works for her.
Yes.
I do think that it's fun. It works with her aligning herself with Nia Jax.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the thing with the briefcase. It's supposed to add a level of uncertainty to the situation. Will she turn on Nia and cash in anyway? When is she going to cash in? Is she going to wait to the end? But is she gonna? Does Nia win?
Nia wins. Nia wins, and she cashes in because that's why they're trying to play up this fucking friendship between the two.
Exactly. See. Look, it's a ready-made story. Just insert that bitch in. But no, But at least we'll get it in the women's title picture.
Yeah.
And then the next annoying stinker of the evening. Bloodline with KO, Cody, and Randy. Thanks, I hated it. Why would you put this at the top of the card if what we were gonna get was Solo pinning the champ?
Yeah, you probably should have just done Priest.
Yes, you should. You should have put that at the end.
Yeah, because like I know they're trying to be like Solo's the next big bad. I'm like, motherfucker lost to LA Knight like 20 times in a row. Like if you go on Cage Match, you could see he lost to LA Knight 20 times in a row. So like, so it's interesting because the night after WrestleMania 39, Cody tells Solo, you think you're ready, but you're not ready. And so the whole point is Solo pinning him and being like, I'm ready. And so they're setting up for the next month, which that's when the Samoan named Joe is definitely going to come in and fucking wreck shit.
Joe, yes.
But
I can't buy Solo as a threat. Like no matter who he pins, no matter what they tell us. I was looking back at Solo's first run of matches after he debuted, and I was like, I remember being really fucking annoyed at it, and I was like, who was it? It was Sheamus who put him over twice, and I was like, Sheamus, that guy? There's no way that he would actually lose to Solo. That they've done a lot. They've really done a lot to establish Solo as, someone who's important, and he's so painfully fucking boring. He's horrible. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't like watching him in the ring. He's boring on the mic. Jacob is already more interesting than him. He just got there.
He's the Bronny James of the Samoans. Where it's just like, you're here because of nepotism.
Thank you.
Like, Jacob Fatu lost weight. Like, speaking of that match is cool. When Jacob Fatu comes in, Randy Orton hits that draping DDT that puts people out. Randy Orton is coiling up to do his thing, playing to the crowd. You see Jacob Fatu pop up in the background, and so he's about to do the stomp, and he sees him when he goes in and looks up like, fuck.
That was a good moment.
That's how you introduce. That's how you introduce
Thank
the character.
you.
That is how you're like, oh shit.
Thank you.
Like Randy Orton is as boring as Randy Orton's matches were for a little bit. Like that is one of the best ways to introduce a character. Was that whole entire to do?
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh shit, okay, like this motherfucker is different.
Yes, but and yet he's able to stand up to it because they've I can remember them doing similar things with Solo over the time that he's been there, and mostly just him getting a thumb in someone's throat at the wrong moment. But I can't buy it. Yes, but any other time, hit that. But any other time, on any of the evening matches where they have him pop out of nowhere, I don't think he stands up to it or rises to it in the same manner that even Jacob has since he just got there. I don't see it. It's just not there for me.
Like I said last week, it's just they're 4 Samoans, the 2 of them are talented, and then everybody else is just because the
rest of them are just Samoans.
Because when Tonga Loa, Cody goes for Tope Suicida, and he hits it, pushes him back. He hits his head on the back of the announcement table, and it's like a loud thud. So people are like, "Oh fuck, did he get a concussion?" And you can see Cody checking on it, and then they go to do the other spot. When is it Tonga Loa? Yeah.
Do what tonight? Or not tonight in the show?
Yeah, who wasn't wrestling because Jacob Fatu. They had to especially say we had to get WWE had to pull some strings to get him in.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't allow criminals.
Tonga Loa, hanging out on the apron. The apron.
Tonga Loa comes in, and because this should have been a bigger moment because Kevin Owens, when he was Kevin Steen on the Indies when he was wrestling in ROH, his finisher was a package pile driver where he like gets them up and then does the pile drive. Like that was his finisher. Like, every time he does it, people are like, "Oh shit, is he gonna hit it?" And so that should have been a bigger moment. But what happened was, I'm pretty sure
he went for the low blow. Didn't get it right the first time.
That's
like basically
exactly.
like tapped him in the balls the first time and had to do it again.
He fucked up the low blow, missed the first time, and then the second time he goes in for the low blow and then hits fucking
Tama-Tonga in the head.
Tama-Tonga in the fucking head. And I'm like, that better be a concussion, because if that is because if you didn't have a concussion and you fucked up that, like he's fucked up every time he's had a chance. Like he fucked up his intro where he was supposed to pull the referee out in Backlash, and he fucked that up, and then he fucked up this. So it's just like they probably need another Samoa.
Or they just need to, let Jacob do everything.
Exactly.
He's the only one out of the group, and that's the interesting thing. That's been true before he got there, that he was going to be the interesting one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You don't put this match on last if you don't have anything to show for it. You just have Solo Sikoa being like, you remember a year ago when you said I wasn't ready? Now I'm ready. Okay, cool. Now we have to sit with this for the next 5 days. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That was dumb. That was a dumb thing to do.
Oh, finally someone used the Prime bottle. There's that. That's fine.
Money. This pay-per-view is more about the structure. Like, I'm okay with Sami Zayn winning that match. That's fine, but everything else, from Sami Zayn to the women's match, everything else had a problem, a massive problem.
Especially with the order they were in. Why did you put this at the end if
Roman wasn't going to be there?
You kind of made us think that was going to happen. And honestly, Seth and Damon was enough happened, so it was chaotic enough, and with everything going on, that would have been believable as the end. Switch him, and maybe that would have been a more of a believable show overall. What a wet part of an event.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. I know the next question you're gonna ask. I'm like, it's a 5 out of 10.
I was thinking of what was asked, like a number or a grade, and I was like D-.
Yeah, like a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Like it's just
a 63.
Yeah. It's just that just really
you know what? It might be a passing grade if they'd switched these two matches. It would have been shitty, but it would have passed barely. But you didn't, so it's a 63.
Yeah. At a certain point, I think, like I said, had Gable or Yeet in the Bank won, you could have done a lot more.
Yep.
You chose.
What are they all doing now?
No, they're fucked.
What's left for them?
They're fucked. Like, that's it. I don't know.
They're gonna have to do something because they all have jobs. They all still have to be on TV. You gotta do something with them. But what?
Exactly.
Anything else you want to touch on? Where we go?
We can talk about what's gonna happen for the next couple of weeks with the podcast.
Okay. I am going to be moving across the country.
What?
So, yes. I am changing homes. So
you're doing this to me?
I am.
To us?
You.
No.
Specifically to you guys.
Me.
It's me.
Specifically to you guys. So we're going to take a break for a couple of weeks while I, find a place to have internet and stuff like that. And set up where I'm going to have, my laptop and everything. But we do still have some things in the pipeline for you guys. We have a couple of things that we have been working on, that Drew has been working on rather. So you'll probably should still see postings from us in the next couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I think in that time, I might be more active on Twitter, because even if we can't record and, if we can't record and I can't make my weekly complaints, I can do them on Twitter. So yeah, look for us there on the social medias. YouTube at Home Wrestling League, Twitter at the HW_HWL, and Instagram at home_wrestling_league. We're the same on Threads there. So I think in this time that we won't be recording for you guys, I'll be on there, more often. doing my crazy shit.
Well, we just want to say that we will be back at SummerSlam. That is going to be the first show that we're going to do.
We will. Yes.
KP, I just want to let you know.
Yes.
We'll definitely be back. We're not stopping.
We're not stopping. This is too much fun, you guys.
Like this is.
Oh no, yeah, this is.
We're not puffy. We can't. We can. We're stopping for a second, but we can't stop. Won't stop.
Can't stop. Won't stop. Yeah, we'll still be, out there. We out here. We're out here to stay. Except for when we end our shows.